Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judyth Sachs, and I am the Chief Academic Officer for Studiosity. It gives me great pleasure this afternoon to introduce four very distinguished colleagues from all around Asia. So today, I'm giving the opportunity for four scholars to talk about their research projects. So we have the universities are developing student skills, critical thinking, and employability in this AI age. And so their projects were taken in the context of that very fluid environment of student learning and AI. So the panel today will explore the transformative impact of AI-driven academic support on open and distant learning students. So let me introduce the four panelists by name, and then I'll get them to introduce their university. So the first person I'd like to introduce is Associate Professor Nantha Subramanian, who's the Dean of the Open University Malaysia, Dr. Zahid Majid, the Director of Academic Planning and Course Production of Allama Iqbal Open University in Pakistan, Dr. Rain Pugoy, Associate Professor of Computer Science and Information Systems at the University of Philippines Open University, and finally, Rabat Kamir Dakal, Assistant Professor at Kathmandu University. I've had conversations with all of you during the course of your project, and so it really is good to see you on the screen. So Rabat, why don't we start with you first to describe your university and just briefly talk about your project.
Thank you, Judith. I think the background to my university regarding the project, I think I begin with what my university does and then what we did in terms of the actual project. So my university stands in the capital city. So Kathmandu University, by its name, also goes that it is the in the center of Nepal. Our university actually implemented the Studiosity writing plus platform with basically master's level students who were largely online, though we had a provision of hybrid modality of classrooms. Most of them had to go through the online system for assessment, reading materials, and also classrooms. So we basically implemented this Studiosity platform with the master students. This is because we have a very low number of undergraduate students because we have just started the undergrad programs. So we had masters and MPhil programs which are more popular. Since the program was only implemented in the School of Education, the overall student turnout in the Studiosity platform was relatively low because the number of students itself is quite low within the School of Education. So it is a kind of pilot project that we implemented. So I will be sharing more about its impact and other things in the later session. Thank you.
Thank you. So Rain, why don't we have you next? I'm just reading across the screen from right to left. So Rain Pugoy.
Yeah, so again, it's so nice to be here. I am from the University of the Philippines Open University, which is the cyber university. We are an open and distance e-learning institution within the University of the Philippines system, which is basically the national university of our country. Yeah, and I also happen to be the ICT director. That's why I'm into technology, into the various integration of these technologies. That's why I've been involved in this kind of study in which we actually wanted to take a look on the possible effects and basically a pilot study regarding the use of academic writing feedback tools such as Studiosity as far as our students is concerned. And we know that Studiosity, how it works, it's quite different from how ChatGPT actually works. So that is all on my end.
Thank you. Nantha, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Judith. So as introduced earlier, I am Nantha Kumar Subramaniam from Open University Malaysia. OUM is Malaysia's premier open and distance learning institution, and OUM dedicated to expanding access to higher education for working adults. through flexible and technology-enabled learning. So we have adopted a blended learning methodology where we have this self-managed learning component, online learning, and also limited face-to-face tutorial sessions. And our project with Studiosity basically focuses on the implementation of Writing Feedback Plus, or in short, we call it WF Plus, which is an AI-powered feedback tool designed to support academic writing by providing instant, formative, and also constructive feedback to our learners. And through this initiative with Studiosity, we aim to enhance writing quality, and also to promote students' self-directed learning, and also to study students' perceptions of their intention, and also satisfaction, trust, and their emotional responses to AI-generated feedback in this ODL environment. So
Thank
that's
you. And
our project. So we have
thank you.
12 subjects, and 13,000 students have enrolled in these 12 subjects. Thanks.
Thank you. And we'll interrogate some of that stuff a little bit later. And Zahid.
Thank you very much, Studiosity, as the team from different universities. I'm Dr. Zahid Majid. I'm working with Allama Iqbal Open University for the last 25 years. So it's a long time with the university affiliation. We can recognize the people from UPOU as well as Babasan Open University, Nantha Kumar. So Allama Iqbal Open University is one of the oldest open university in Pakistan as well as in Asia. We established in 1974. So last year we have completed our 50 years of excellence and quality education in Pakistan. Currently, we are with 1.2 million students from all over Pakistan. So we covered each and every corner of Pakistan with the students. And one of the salient features of this university is that we have more than 50% the female enrollment. And the same is that we have more than 2,000 international students from 35 plus countries. And we are offering about 300 programs from certificate up to PhD level. And from the 4 faculties, Faculty of Education is the largest with the prospective teachers enrollment. Faculty of Sciences is mostly with the hybrid and face-to-face mode. Faculty of Social Sciences and Faculty of Arabic and Islamic Studies. So these are the 4 faculties with more than 50 departments, more than 3,000 our own developed courses of different levels from certificate up to PhD. And we are lucky to having this number, and we are facing such type of problems to how to handle all these students with the part-time tutors. We enrolled and registered about 200,000 part-time tutors with Allama Iqbal Open University, and mostly they are from former universities and institutions, but they do have some experience with Allama Iqbal Open University, and we also trained them on how to teach online. But the responsibility of the tutor is very important in our system, distance learning, how to give the feedback to the students for improvement and for their intellectual development. So we have the one study and collaborations about AI-based feedback to our students, and in pilot test, we touch about 5,000 plus students for the pilot test, and the findings that we have very interesting that we will share with you later on. This is a bit about the university and our collaboration with Studiosity. Thank you.
And Zahid, I think that I can't imagine what it would be like to work in a university with 1.5 million students. It's just.
Recently the Pakistan government, they announced the first national open distance learning policy. And this policy is allowing 275 plus universities to having the hybrid mode of education. So this will not be restricted with the Open University Pakistan, because we think in Pakistan, the capacity of higher education and distance learning is more than 5 million. So we are just 1.2, 1.5. So this is a small number. As compared to it's a small number as compared to the, last week I was in China, Open University China having more than 4 million. India, Indira Gandhi National Open University is about 2.53 million. So yes, their population is much bigger, larger than Pakistan. But we think because the higher education student enrollment is less than 15%. So we still, the potential is there. So we welcome the other universities to be part of this distance learning. And what we have did, I'm involved, and that's I'm traveling in Pakistan to capacity building the former universities to develop the online and hybrid mode of education. So this is how we are contributing and the capacity building the other universities to be part of distance learning and online learning. So 1.2, with the technology, now it is much easier as compared to the last 40, 45 years that we all do on manual system.
Thank you. And I just want people to know there are 93 institutions, people from 93 institutions that have registered for today from 23 countries. So this really is our first major international webinar. So thank you everybody for agreeing to participate, but also for those who are in the audience. Now, I did write a note just asking for people to put their questions during the webinar in the Q&A rather than the chat, and I'll be constantly looking at the questions. So thank you for that. So just a question for all of you, and for those of us that aren't familiar with it, what does it mean to be an open university? Zahid, you could start.
Okay, thank you very much. Open education and the education for all in our context, internationally or national level at Pakistan, we think the education without any restrictions and limitations and barriers. In Pakistani context, the mostly universities, they are restricting to having the enrollment with the age, with the number of years that they have, and they also restricted them to complete the programs within the particular time or duration.
Nantha, can we invite you to talk about what Open University means at your end?
Yeah, thank you, Judith. Okay, for us, when we say Open University, basically provide the accessibility to everyone, to come on board and to further their studies. And especially at Open University Malaysia, the focus is on the working adults because they can't, resign and just go to the, typical university to do a full-time studies. So we are giving opportunity those, these working adults and also these professionals to come and, study with us in a part-time basis, where we give flexibility. So the main pillar here is, accessibility and also flexibility that we are giving to our learners. And we are basically utilizing the technology in order to bring the teaching and learning closer to our learners. So in our context, if you ask me, how we define open education or open universities, so that's how I will frame it, accessibility and also the flexibility that we are giving to our learners. And, whether they have a lower qualification, academic qualification, or at a medium level, as long as they fulfill the, the minimum entry requirement, they can come and they can study at OUM. At the same time, we also have the so-called, recognized, they call it recognized prior learning, okay? Prior learning experience if they have, they can use that and they can, use that to enter the university. So we have this normal academic entry, and also we have the so-called entry based on their working experience. Of course, they have to write some portfolio. They have to go through some some assessment in order to get into the program. Thanks.
Thank you. Zahid, you're no longer frozen, so I'll let you finish.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but you were frozen before.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very well said by my colleague from Malaysia, Nantha Kumar. The same is with Allama Iqbal Open University. We welcome every student or every learner to be part of the education or get education from Allama Iqbal Open University. We do have the youngest one, 12 years old, and the oldest one is 90-year-old. So we are open for everyone, even that our slogan is that if you want to get education and you don't have money or the financial assistance, we will help you. You can work with us and you can continue your education. So flexibility is there with the duration, flexibility is there with the financial matters, flexibility is there with the age and language and other matters. So open means open for all the barriers that we put in somehow in the formal system of education. And another important thing is the open means and flexible education is that for every segment of the society, like the disabled students, students with the special needs or differently able, they are also part of the open and distance learning. In our experience, we have more than 3,000 differently able students, and they're much comfortable with the open and distance learning with all the assistive technologies, with the flexibility of the timings, flexibility of the learning material that they have. So that is really open for them also, really open for the minorities because Pakistan is 98% Muslim country. So the 2% are minorities, and sometimes the no restriction for the education at any level. They have freedom for everything, but sometimes it's happened with the cultural, religious, linguistic matters. So they are easier with that one. But more important thing is in Pakistan, the far-flung areas where they don't have the formal system of education, or if they have the formal system of education, because of the cultural constraints and traditional constraints, the females are not allowed to go to the formal system of education. I travel all over Pakistan. Sometime I met the fathers and the family members, and they just came to me and said, thank you very much, because my brother, my sister, my mother, my female family member, they were not allowed, but they continue their education because of Allama Iqbal Open University. So this is how the open and flexible education system in Pakistan.
Thank you. Rain, talk to us about the Philippines and what open means in the Philippines.
Yeah, so the two colleagues who have shared their opinion, I agree with what they said. And just to add some things also off the top of my head, that would be the fourth sustainable development goal, in which we want to ensure quality access, or we democratize access to quality education. That is, I would say that is basically an important facet of openness or open education. And just to add about the creation of UPOU, we were created, or UPOU was created to provide, that wider access to quality higher education through open and decent e-learning. And when we say, or when we talk about open and decent e-learning, we actually emphasize the different modes of instruction that can allow flexibility of the students, so that they can take their classes anytime and anywhere, that they can decide their own pacing. And we use various types of modalities, again, because at the end of the day, that would be about SDG number 4.
Thank you. And Rabat.
Thank you, Judyth. I think, the actual implementation of open university or open concept of education seems to be, narrowed down in the Nepali context. This is because, our Nepal Open University itself was the relatively youngest university in Nepal, which started only in 2016 establishment and maybe program offered after 2018. But our university already had a kind of open and distance education program limited to one education department only. So we started back in 2010. So by then we had a kind of, challenges in terms of how public perception of online education is. And we had to go through so many, challenges due to the, wider acceptance of traditional universities education versus the kind of new open education. So still we were running these programs in parallel. So we had one dedicated unit supporting online and distance education, but within our university, within our campus also, we have the larger portion mostly focused on traditional kind of conventional education, so as to say. So, the overall understanding of having open education is more accessibility, flexibility, Of course, some kind of flexibility is there within our online mode of delivery. Our programs are largely online mode of delivery rather than open education now. Even in Nepal Open University, they have the similar kind of hybrid model. Everything they do in a cohort fashion as if it is in a conventional university. So I think in terms of open education, we are not that open yet.
Okay. So look, I'm going to change the discussion a little bit now, and I'm interested to know why you decided to work with us in undertaking this project. So what did you hope to get out of the relationship with Studiosity, but also the opportunity to do a piece of research? So Nantha, can I start with you?
Okay, Judith. Okay, basically our collaboration with Studiosity, we are interested in that project because all the while at Open University Malaysia, the focus is basically human-centered tutoring. You know, all the classes, whether it is real-time, synchronous or asynchronous, the focus is instructor-led teaching. So we thought when we have this collaboration with Studiosity, we thought, it's good to bring some AI elements into the picture so that it comes as what you call something complement or support the instructor, the human instructor. So when we got to know about this writing feedback class, so we got excited because the focus is on assessment, and we know the assessment is important pillar in teaching and learning. And our instructors or tutors, they deal with hundreds of students, especially for the first semester students, first semester subject, and they don't have the time to to go through the students' assignment or to give a proper advice, especially on the academic writing. So we thought by having this writing feedback plus platform or system from Studiosity, it will give some kind of support and holding to the students when come to the assessment. So that's the main reason, why we embark on the collaboration with Studiosity. And it was very, joyful experience with us, having to see, a fully functional system that students, have been using to support their assessment. And, we know that, students sometimes they use ChatGPT or any other Gen AI tools, but we are really excited with this writing feedback plus because very, very focused on the assessment, especially on the, on supporting students on the academic writing. And there are many features available, whether they want to go for more detailed report or they want just to see, whether it's on the grammar or language or something higher level, whether the students want to see how, the assignments align to the critical thinking dimension. So all the dimensions are supported. It is not, just focusing on one aspect of it, basically looking at various dimensions of the assessment. So that's really entice us to work with Studiosity. Thanks.
Thank you. And Zahid, what made you decide that it was worthwhile having a partnership with Studiosity?
Thank you very much. It's interesting because I was in discussion with my vice chancellor long time, means 2 years back, and he was one of the participants in UAE, Dubai, and where he has the chance to meet with your team, Studiosity team, in there with the presentation that they have shared. One of the challenge that we facing in Pakistan, that's the 1.2 million students with just 25,000 or 30,000 part-time teachers, and they are providing feedback time to time to the students on their write-ups. And sometimes that is non on-timed, sometimes it's not appropriate for the students. And as Dr. Nant has mentioned about ChatGPT or other sources that they are consulting, sometimes they are consulting just for the consultation, but sometimes they are having the plagiarism or cheating. So this is how we are facing for last 45 years. And that's not possible. Even that we have another approach to put the super tutor on the tutors, that they can check the marking and feedback given by the tutors to the students, but even that's not possible to handle all these things for the large number of students. And then when he was back in the University Islamabad, he called me and he shared with me, and then we connected with you people, having a lot of discussions with my faculty members, with our technical peoples. So this is how we connected with you. And this was interesting for us because this is real time as per the student means the university vision and mission that how we can support our students. And this is offline and online feedback. And this is the pilot test that we have. Yes, this is challenging for us at the start because when we started pure online programs, we have a lot of resistance, digital literacy problems and issues with the students. And the same is here. We are trying to convince the students that this is not to check the plagiarisms and other things. This is how we are supporting you people within the fee structure that they are. Our fee structure is very, very low as compared to the former system of education, as compared to the other open universities in the world. So we are saying that we are not burdening you, but we are trying to support you, real-time support, that you can check that what you have written for the assignments and for the other write-up. And they really like the findings that we have is really amazing for us, for the 5,000 or plus students. So this is how we connected with Studiosity.
Thank you. And Rain, what made you decide that this was something that would be worth your interest and effort?
For sure. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's about the interest of our students. As long as it can help, why not? We should give it a try. And I'd say that doing this kind of research, this kind of collaboration with you as Studiosity, it's our way of listening to not really the struggles, but to the voices of our students. And because what we did here, we integrated the academic writing feedback tool of Studiosity within our digital learning environment. And I argue, or I contend, that if we are able to do this kind of study by evaluating the relevance, the helpfulness of Studiosity within the open and distance e-learning setting, then we can also get a sense of whatever is happening with our students, because I mentioned at the end of the day, we want their best interests. And at the same time, we can offer, evidence-based recommendations on how we can move forward. It's still with the bigger picture in mind. And I'd say that doing this kind of study, it's actually a means to that end, and that end is actually the best interests of our students. Thank you.
Thank you. And Rabat, what
Yeah.
made you decide to participate
So
in the project?
I strongly echo with our previous speakers. In my particular university concern, I think there are two guiding ideas. One is student support system, and another is I also work as an advocate of research integrity and research misconduct kind of thing. So I think that is also one of my guiding philosophy that propelled me to think of using. Why not to see the kind of pilot it and see how it works. So I think first one idea is to really support students through providing real-time academic writing support, and that also reduces the faculty burden. Sometimes students have to wait for weeks and weeks to get faculty feedback. I think it has really change the way that students see how they receive feedback, and their reliance much on faculty has also decreased. So I think from that particular point of view, I think the system did well. Our students appreciate that idea. From the next point of view, research integrity and ethics, I think from the faculty's perspective, it is doing excellent. But from the students' perspective, students are always at a lower end and they want to see the shortcuts. And then I think from that perspective, students still try to bypass that system. So I think our next focus would be on how to sensitize the students and faculty on the ethical use of the different AI tools, AI-powered writing support systems. I think we are in some way insisting on this second dimension now. Thank you.
So my next question is actually about the implementation of the project. Were there any challenges that, and I'll stay with you, Rabat. Were there any challenges that you had in undertaking the project? And if there were, what were they and how did you resolve them?
Yeah, thank you. I think basically the challenge that we faced was about introducing the platform to the students and then getting them use it frequently. So frequency of use was the challenge. And for that, what we did was we oriented faculty, our teaching faculty, in such a way that they design their assessment, and in the assessment itself, they started writing that first you have to check your response, your answer on the Studiosity platform. Then only you should submit your final answer along with the report to the faculty. I think that is how we saw the relatively higher, usage in the latter months. Thank you.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that it was actually recruiting students
Yes.
to participate, and then once you'd recruited them, to actually get them to understand the benefit to them in doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll follow up on that later about what advice you'd give to people later. Rain, what about you? What challenges did you have in implementing the project?
Yeah, I actually have a similar challenge as regarding the participation of the students, because if you can remember, we distributed the survey, or we gave access, let's say, to Studiosity to about 5,000 students, and 1,000 actually used from out of the 5,000, and from out of the 1,000 who actually used the academic writing feedback tool, only about 80 responded to the survey. So that may be a challenge when it comes to the generalizability of the findings. I don't have any problem regarding the buy-in of the administration or the leadership, because we had full support from them, but it's more of expanding the use. Yeah, that's all on my end with it.
Do you think it's the nature of the students, and this is on top of everything else you're asking them to do? So that sense of getting them to respond to a questionnaire and getting them to engage in a project, was they just didn't have the bandwidth to do it, or was it something else?
Regarding that, that could be a possible reason, because they are asked to do something else, or they are asked to do on top of what they are doing. And another reason off the top of my head would be we could have increased the integration, because what I'm trying to say is, I know that there may be some faculty members or some teachers that just ask their students to use this, but the instructions could have been improved. So maybe if the integration was increased within the bounds of the classes or of the course sites, if you will, in our virtual learning environment, then we could have gotten a much better response rate.
Okay. Nantha, what about at your end in Malaysia?
Okay, talking about the challenge that we face in implementing the project, a main challenge would be, based on our experience, involve helping the students and those who are using the system to interpret this AI feedback in a more effective manner, especially because since the tool does not directly, edit work, but instead guides improvement. So the feedback is there, so the students have to take the feedback and how they can interpret it in order to improve their own assignment, because this system not giving answer, it's giving some kind of guides. So how they can take this feedback in a very effective manner, so that they can translate that into the assignment, to improve the assignment. And at the same time, managing the emotional responses of the students, especially when the students encountered some negative or critical comments. It also requires some careful communication and also guidance. We don't have much issues with the students when they start using this the platform, but we sense that these are the areas or challenges that students might face, especially when they are facing these critical comments. I won't say critical comment. Basically, it's a constructive comments from the system. And also to ensure trust and transparency in automated feedback also demand some kind of attention. And some students, they have shown some mild reservations about depending mainly on AI, and also to sustain students' engagement across diverse courses. Earlier I mentioned, for this project, we have implemented the whole project for 12 subjects. Some subject comes from very technical, faculties. Some is a business, some from education. And if the courses are from, from competing faculty, maybe the students are well versed with these AI tools. They are more comfortable using it. But those from education, from business faculties, maybe they will have some reservation of using these AI tools. So, so that's why maybe sometimes we have to give them some AI literacy exposure or knowledge before they start using these tools, so that they get the best or the most benefit out of the system. So these are the challenges that we face. I won't say it's a major challenge, but some of the hurdles that we face in order to, to maximize the usage of these Writing Feedback Plus.
So what I'm hearing you saying is it's actually clarification about expectations, what's required of them and what they can expect of the technology.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Zahid, what about you? You've got the mute on again.
Okay, thank you. When we started working with Studiosity, we set the background of our collaboration, because what we are facing challenging, that is delayed feedback, isolation of the students with the teacher and students. And another challenge that we were facing, high student-teacher ratio. Sometimes it goes more than 100 with one tutor. And the scalability, time, personalized support, as well as ethical and guided feedback. So these were the challenges that we were facing. And definitely the one of the challenge is the change. And change means something new for the student. And when something is new, students always feared and students always worried about either they are controlling, supervising us, how to move. So this is one of the things that the student trust, student acceptance, and another important thing is the digital literacy. So these are the challenges that we faced at the pilot study. Another important challenge that we just shared with the strategy team is that the technical aspects that we have shared with you people, that how it will be helpful for us, especially when we having the system attached with the plagiarism, attached with the individual teacher portal or other accessibility matters. So these are the few things that we already shared with you people, and your team is working on it. But in my point of view, the challenge that we are facing, that the first thing is the change. Number two is the digital literacy. Number three is the trust and acceptance from the students. And how we can make it possible, the one component is the policy, the university policy that will help us to introduce the AI-based feedback to the students. Still, we don't have the AI-based policy for our university. We are drafting it. If that is a part of our rules and regulations, then the more acceptability and acceptance means trust with the students will be happening. So our recommendations and our challenges are connected with the background that we shared with you at the start. So we try to having with you people to check the challenges, that is the regular orientation and awareness sessions with our students, that is also missing in our findings. How to integrate the progress tracking and plagiarism detection tools in the Studiosity. And we also thinking about the another important component is expand the mobile and offline accessibility. This is another challenge that we found in our study. And how this will be important for us is the introduction of analytics dashboard for the tutors, individual tutors. You do have the analytics dashboard, but is general for all. But we need the separate for each tutor's analytics dashboard. And we also encourage continuous feedback cycles between student and mentors, that will be helpful for us. So these are the challenges that we found in our studies, and we already discussed with your team also.
Thanks very much. I'd like to just get back to the research project for a minute and ask each of you, what are two of the major findings that emerged from your research? And let me start with you again, Zahid. What were the two major findings that that emerged from your study?
Thank you very much. We completed the study a few months back, and for the study, I have to mention about the method and sample. We have the Google surveys feedback from the tutors and students. We having more than 5,000 students. We having collected the 451 pre-survey Google feedback survey from the teachers, means the tutors, and 254 post-survey from the tutors. And we involved more than 25 tutors as a participants. So this is the methodology that we have for this pilot study. We having the strategy how to implement this AI-based feedback software that is Studiosity integrated into our LMS that is modal, but having some inbuilt changes. We LMS with the students and tutors. We train the students and tutors with the help of with your team, pre-assessment survey, post-assessment survey, tutors feedback, and quantitative and qualitative data that we have collected from the student and tutors also. Important findings. I'm very much happy to share with you people the satisfaction and engagement level of the students. It's amazing for us. We were not expecting, I'm very open for sharing this. It's more than 85%. This is amazing. The 5,000 students giving feedback, 85% students reported improved writing quality. They also reported that they increased the confidence and better understanding of the plagiarism, because this is not plagiarism's detecting tools. So at the start, they were worried about it, but after that, they were happy, because when they go through the 3 times or 2 times from the softwares, they really improve their write-ups. And another important finding is that they have the positive perception of AI-based feedback that we collected through the post-pilot test survey. Student level findings, they recommended to the peers, it's about 68%. The 78% of the students said that the plagiarism means that the dashboard or the technical aspects of the AI is friendly for them. 81% indicated that the Studiosity increased their confidence in completing assignments. 73% found Studiosity feedback timely and easy to understand. 69% felt that platform met or exceeded the expectation. This is what I'm saying, how they are confident with the Studiosity. 64% of respondents said Studiosity improved their perception of AI tools in education, and 72% wanted to continue using Studiosity in future courses. So it's much higher percentage, 72%. And they also recommended 68% to the peers, to other students of our programs. Just one or two more for the tutors' point of view. When we collected the feedback from the tutors and the teachers, they engaged with the students when we are piloting this software with them. 88% of the tutors found this Studiosity easy to integrate into their teaching workflow. 79% agreed that it reduced their workload. This is very important for them, because when the tutors having the improved version of the assignments once, twice, or thrice, that definitely the write-ups are much better as compared to the first draft than when they have. 83% observed improvement in the quality of the student submission, and 70% believed that AI feedback was comparable or superior to traditional teacher feedback. Last one is the 67% emphasized the need for students' orientation and more subject coverage, as mentioned by the Nantha Kumar, that we have to check it with the Arabic and Islamic studies and languages and other technical subjects. because at the pilot test, we having social sciences and sciences subjects for the pilot test. So these are the major findings that we have, and I really happy to share all of these, that more than 60 or 65% of all aspects are positive in a way.
Thank you. Very high student satisfaction, particularly the building of confidence, and happy with using the tool. Nata, what are two sort of major findings that you'd like to share with us?
Okay. We asked the students to use the tool for 1 semester, and then once they have used it, so it's the end of the semester, we asked the students to, to give their feedback. How they perceive the system. And we conducted a survey, and the focus was to, want to examine students' intention to use this AI-based feedback for academic writing support. And we also had another objective to evaluate students' satisfaction with the AI-based feedback system. And then we also want to, to investigate the students' trust, how, to which extent they trust this AI-based feedback system. And we also want to explore the impact of negative feedback from this AI-based feedback system on their, motivation, perception, and also their willingness to, to improve their particular assessment or assignment based on the feedback from this WF plus or writing feedback plus. And one notable surprise was the high and consistent intention among the students to continue using the platform, the AI feedback system, regardless of the background or their study level, whether they are doing a degree or master's, regardless of the background, they indicated they intend to use the system for the future, for their future courses. And we also observe, based on our analysis, there is no statistically significant perception differences between these undergraduate and postgraduate students or between the genders. So this is an interesting finding. It shows there is a broad, the system has receive a broad inclusivity and or acceptance among the learners. So this is something that, surprised us, because sometimes people always say, male students, they tend to use the system in a more effective manner than the female students. Or sometimes, we have this perception or, misconception that postgraduate students will have, will utilize the system in a more effective manner as compared to the undergraduate learners. But here in our study, we don't see any big difference when it comes to perception between gender and also the background of their study. And another unexpected result or insight was even when the students receive negative feedback or some critical feedback from the system, many still use it in a very constructive manner in order to improve their assignment. So they don't say, since it's very negative kind of feedback, they don't just close it, the platform, and then they start, approaching the tutor. No, they were using it for, in a repetitive manner in order to get, the assignment improved based on the whatever feedback they receive from the platform. But we noticed that the emotional reactions varied more than what we anticipated, highlighting that motivation can fluctuate despite cognitive appreciation or feedback that received from the system. So these are some of our findings that we got through our study.
But in terms of students' overall response, was it positive or negative or a little bit sort of?
It was very much positive. For example, I can share some of the results that we obtained from the survey. For example, for intention to use the system, we have this questionnaire in the Likert scale of 1 to 5. 1 strongly disagree with the statement, 5 strongly agree with the statement, 1 to 5. For example, for intention to use the system. So there's one of the questions the survey was, I believe it is worthwhile for me to use the AI-assisted system for assignment. The mean score was 4.19, which is very good, means they are accepting it. And another question, so item from this for this construct intention to use the system. Based on my experience, I'm very likely to use the AI-assisted system for assignment. The mean score was 4.13 out of 5, which is a very good score. And for satisfaction, I can share one of the question. I think the AI-assisted system is very helpful. The score was 4.23 out of 5. Another satisfaction question was, overall, I'm pleased with the experience of using the AI-assisted system. Again, the score was very high, 4.2 out of 5. That is satisfaction. For the trust, we had 3 questions here. I can just share one of the question. I will trust the feedback provided by the AI-assisted system to improve my academic writing. The average score was 4.05 out of 5. And I forgot to mention the total numbers of students who responded was 435. And we also have another question I can share here on trust. I feel more comfortable exploring tasks with support from this AI-assisted system. The average score was 4.11 out of 5. It means they agree with the statement, put forward by the question. And the last dimension of construct we were focusing was, as I mentioned earlier, it's a perception of negative feedback. When I say negative feedback, it's the critical comments or feedback given by the system. One of the questions we asked in the survey was, I felt motivated after receiving a negative feedback from the AI system. So the score was, we are quite happy with the score, 3.45. It's not at the extreme high. It was, at the lower because I felt motivated. So it was 3.45, which can be improved, but be happy with this score. It's not 4 or above. That's why earlier I mentioned these are the areas that we can improve, especially when we want to, handle this negative feedback. I also can share another question on this.
I think we might just that.
Oh,
we're
okay.
getting the picture of a happy student body.
Okay.
Rain, what some high level bits of information can you share with us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because based on what was shared earlier, of course we're expecting positive results here, right? I mean, that is not surprising at all that the results that AI writing feedback is helpful. I mean, that's a given already. That is what we expect. So I'm gonna focus on the other side, more on the challenges and opportunities and concerns raised by our students. So we actually receive mixed responses regarding the challenges that they encountered, and they actually highlighted 3 main limitations. And this is actually the overarching theme, if you will. Like number 1 would be the responses were context blind, meaning that some students were not able to engage deeply with some academic content. And this is related to another limitation in which that the responses given by Studiosity were assignment unaware, or some feedback may not always be relevant to the task or to what the students are asking Studiosity to do. And another thing would be the suggestions can be somehow or somewhat plain. And another interesting finding here, yeah, this was really out of the blue. They actually expressed concerns regarding ethics and privacy, while they are actually generally trusting of the platform. They generally trust Studiosity, but some students express concerns regarding how secure their data are, what happens with their work when they upload those, so on and so forth. And this made us realize that we have to proactively communicate. We have to be transparent. We have to tell them how their data is actually protected. And we can also consider strengthening some data protection protocols. I mean, because if we want our students to continue using Studiosity, then they have to keep on trusting this platform, this tool. And in order for them to keep on trusting this tool or this platform, then we have to be transparent how we safeguard their data. Thank you.
That area of trust is actually an interesting one, and that area of privacy as well. So what advice then would you give to other organizations to ensure that they didn't have that sort of mistrust?
I would say that at the onset, I mean, this is not only about Studiosity, but whatever technology or whatever tool is out there should be a clear statement on data privacy. I mean, how is their data are protected? What measures are being done by the university? I mean, it has to be to the letter. Everything has to be clear in the first place. Because as I mentioned, if that is not clear at the onset, or if that is not clear at the beginning, then we cannot expect them to trust whatever tool.
Okay, thank you. Rabat, what are a couple of key
Thank you.
findings in your project?
Yeah. So in terms of the students' overall usage and also the satisfaction level, I think from the satisfaction point of view, I think it equals with the other universities. Like 86.7% students were satisfied with the use. They are the satisfied users. That is also shown by the dashboard. And 89% felt more confident. I think it also echoes with the university from Malaysia. 96% found the system easy to use. So in terms of the ease of access and also use, it is very splendid for the students. And 100% were very satisfied with the timeliness of the feedback. And 65% were satisfied with the quality of feedback in terms of the kind of feedback it provides. Some of them are relatively non-contextual, something that other friend raised. But despite these positive, sides, I think in terms of the real engagement and how students, after when there is, in a way, instead that they are satisfied, they also mentioned that their writing was has somehow improved. In this, score also goes like 73% felt that their writing skills has enhanced. But despite these positive claims, the frequency of use and also the level of engagement that we see is relatively lower, though it is again around 63%. But when you see the other indicators going more than 80%, why their second, third time of use has gone down. So that means we were concerned about this particularly, why they are not very much engaged after one or two submissions. And regarding why that happened, we also did explore through qualitative indicators, qualitative measures, and interaction with the students, different cohorts of students. And then, they were looking for more, not only the suggestions, but also the answers, not maybe they are habituated with some other quick fixes with the AI systems, and they might be expecting that. So I think we could not make that expectation very clear in the very right onset. I think that resulted in that kind of discontinuation of the usage. So and in terms of AI ethics also, 65% have said that their AI awareness and sensitivity of AI ethics has improved, and a few of them, persistently reported to us that they were looking for the Studiosity service after we completed the study as well. So that means they really look forward to the kind of feedback that it provided. But when it comes to their instant work for the assignment submission, maybe they were looking for quick fixes. So if they have to really learn, I think they are looking for the feedback from the Studiosity. But if they have to, submit for assignments and get things done in a very timely manner, rather than looking at the feedback and addressing them, they are looking for real-time solutions rather than suggestions. Thank you.
And that didn't surprise me when I read that in your report as well. Look, I'd like to thank the four of you for giving me an hour of your time today. It's been a very enlightening and interesting set of conversations, but I look forward to perhaps us maintaining some sort of contact in the future. And apparently a number of people will be in Wellington at the International Open Education Conference. If you are online and are going to Wellington, please come to the Studiosity booth so that we can give you a personalized good day. And thank you again for the work you've done, and enjoy the rest of 2025, and may 2026 be full of challenges, joy, and students who are happy. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.